Is it too late for the Tories to solve the migrant crisis? The government is facing increased pressure to find a solution to the migrant crisis. This comes as MPs took Home Secretary Suella Braverman to task this week during a Home Affairs committee, where she admitted the government had failed to control its borders. Read clueless, blaming migrants, people smugglers, the Home Office, Uncle Tom Cobley, anyone. Inefficiency for chaos at the Manston Processing Centre in Kent. The Office for National Statistics reveal over 40,000 people have arrived via small boats this year. The net migration in the year to June 2022 reached more than 500,000. This level is 175,000 above the record high of 329,000, keep up, lots of figures, during the refugee crisis back in 2015. Out of 500,000, nearly 20% are overseas student dependents, a figure which has increased sevenfold in 3 years. So, with the next general election fast approaching and no signs of the migrant crisis improving, for the Great British Debate, I'm asking, is it too late for the Tories to solve the migrant crisis? I'm joined by Director of Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity, Stephen Woolfe. Hello, Stephen. Hi, you can see you there looking absolutely lovely curtains, by the way. So, Stephen,
Thank you.
It's dark and grim outside, I don't blame, full of curtains. Is it too late? Can the Tories do anything? Can anyone do anything?
Well, the Conservative Party certainly could do some things, without a doubt. For example, they could pull out of the European Court of Human Rights, and that would then give them the opportunity to deal with up to at least 100,000 of those asylum applicants that are currently being assessed at the moment. And most of the asylum applicants don't fall within the category of the Human Rights Convention. Most of them fall within the ECHR or the government's own discretionary rules. So they could do something about that. If we're out of the ECHR, then they could not do with Rwanda. The Rwanda policy would have gone through straight away without having to deal with the court cases going on. Abolishing of the Modern Slavery Act, or at least amending it so that people from Albania who were coming over in droves couldn't make the claim. But the reality is, I think most people, particularly those in the northern constituencies that voted Brexit and the Red Wall, have become fed up with the Conservative Party, don't believe that they will ever manage immigration into this country. And I think, to be honest, they will probably lose the election on the back of that.
But do you think, what's the Labour... OK, the only real alternative we seem to have at the moment is the Labour Party. So what have the Labour Party said is their solution to this problem?
Oh, let's be honest about it. The Labour Party began this process in 2001, 2 and 3 were amongst the highest years that we ever had with asylum applications. I think 2012 we had 189,000 who came across the borders just on asylum. And that was Tony Blair's group of people who believed that they should scour the earth and bring as many immigrants into the country to rub the faces of the rights in diversity. So we can't really trust the Labour Party, but the Labour Party is now under Keir Starmer trying to use soft words and nice language to say that they can manage it. But the reality for both political parties is this. Whilst they are increasing the numbers of migrants coming into this country through asylum, they're also allowing huge numbers to come in for work. The cost to the UK exchequer is now between 8 to 10 billion a year. And we've got problems in housing, hospitals, schools, roads, all of them are increasingly problematic. And whichever government comes in, will have to consider how they deal with those costs. And immigration, controlling it, would be one of the key solutions to it. But I don't think they have the spirit or the heart for it.
Right. OK, Stephen, thank you. Stay with us for now, because I'm also joined by international human rights lawyer David Haigh. David, hello, welcome to the show. No curtains for you, quite disappointing. I was looking forward to a competition there. Right, David, have the Tories lost the plot, if they even had a plot, and what needs to be done? We all know something needs to be done, but can the Tories do it? What needs to happen?
Well, I think a good way to start is if we look at their 2019 election manifesto, page 20, right at the top, fix our immigration system, a statement that they made. And then you look at the other statements that they made, that they would fix the immigration system, that they would be fewer immigrants and they would control the borders. All these are things which they said in 2019 they would do. And obviously, a few weeks ago, we saw the Home Secretary say that effectively the asylum and the migrant system is broken, whilst they've been in charge. So it's never too late to fix the problem. It's one that does need fixing, and it's certainly not a new one. We're an island, and we've always been an island. Immigration and asylum seekers, they've always been there in one way or another. So it's something that can be done. The question, I think, really is whether the Tories are capable of doing it, and I, from my perspective, don't think they are.
So, but I mean, what the $64,000 question here, everybody watching and listening this afternoon is, if the Tories don't know what the answer is, and Labour don't really know what the answer is, what is the answer? Has any country in Europe actually managed to solve this problem?
I think it is solvable. I mean, if you look at other countries that are islands, if you look at places like Australia, for example, the immigration is a lot more controlled there. So it's not a difficult problem to solve. It is a problem that needs solving, but it's not just one policy about Rwanda or giving more money to France to control the borders there. There needs to be a full review of the whole immigration system, and as obviously part of that, asylum seekers and the illegal migrant issue that we're seeing as well. But that's just not happening, and that's not also been helped by the fact of the ever-changing prime ministers, home secretaries. They were abolishing the Human Rights Act, then introducing the Bill of Rights, then that got stalled, and then they're bringing that back. And they've effectively got 2 years left. It's highly unlikely that any of this new legislation is going to get through unless they treat it as effectively a migrant emergency. But all we're seeing is a never-ending story of complete incompetence from a Home Office that's not fit for purpose when it comes to immigration and asylum.